The eyes of the world are on Minneapolis as week 2 of the Derek Chauvin trial continues.
A lot of questions about the trial, its effect on the city, and the future of policing in Minneapolis. Let's bring in now Miski Noor, co-executive director for Black Visions, an organization fighting for Black lives in the Twin Cities. Miski, thank you so much for being here. It's been almost a year where we heard all those calls, and we heard the local officials saying we are going to defund the police, we're going to change policing, we are going to get rid of the police force itself and actually put something else that's going to help public safety. Has any of that happened?
We're moving towards some of it. Something I'm very excited about is that we have launched the Yes for Minneapolis campaign, and recently we just hit 20,000 signatures so that we can actually move towards an amendment that will remove the Minneapolis Police Department from the city's charter, which is effectively our city constitution, and replace it with a Department of Public Safety that then can decide what is the appropriate response when people actually call for help, instead of just sending a person with a gun. We are engaged in a bunch of conversations with our community members to actually determine what they believe will keep them safe, so that that can be the definition and the mandate of safety moving forward. And so we're up to a lot of very exciting conversations here in Minneapolis so that we are moving towards a police-free future in the next 5 years.
Just kind of quickly explain to people what you mean there when you say abolish the police department.
The reason we're fighting for abolition of the police in particular is because the roots of police themselves are rotten, right? The institution of policing came to be because there were slave catchers who were trying to return Black people fleeing for freedom to the South, right? And then the other reason police were created was to actually bust unions and stop people from being able to organize for living wages. And so the institution of policing has always been about the protection of property and profit over people, which is why we need something completely new that is not actually rooted inside of that, right? The other thing I want to say is that defunding the police doesn't stand on its own. It's a strategy of identifying where there is an abundance of resources that are not serving our community and actually reallocating to those resources to proven strategies and to places where we have actually defunded. And so it's about divesting from violence and investing in what is actually going to provide the safety that our folks need. So yeah, hopefully the plan for something like the Department of Safety here in Minneapolis is that we're actually able to identify what is the appropriate response. So if somebody is having a mental health crisis, it's a mental health professional that shows up. If somebody is in the middle of overdose, it's actually somebody who has the medical care expertise to intervene in that moment. If it's actually de-escalation that we need, we have some of those experts in our community, right? One of the things that the Office of Violence Prevention here has already created is a group of violence interrupters who are folks who are formerly incarcerated and able to actually go out and intervene in these moments because they have some of that experience and can actually speak to people in that way. And so we want these creative community solutions because we have it inside of us, and we deserve to have something more that is anchored in like the violence of keeping people from their freedom and keeping people from being able to work in healthy and good ways.
Creative community services. I love the way you put that. You know, there is so much anger and frustration watching what's unfolded, and especially as we're watching it, rewatching it in this trial. How can people help? How can people be a part of this, do something for a better future?
What I would say to folks is, how can you be more present in your community, on your block, in your neighborhood, right? Because it is us being involved in each other's lives, being present in each other's lives, being able to pay attention and see where these interventions can happen before things escalate, that is actually going to get us towards a world that has more safety, right? And so I really want to encourage people to check out what's happening in your neighborhood, right? There are houseless folks in your neighborhood. There are folks who are fighting to make lives better for marginalized people in your community right now. So how can you link up and build power with folks that you live next to, whose lives you should be directly involved in and who should be directly involved in you, so that you can be creating systems of care in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, because that's what we're doing here in Minneapolis. We're turning to each other to create the safety that we need. And I really want to encourage everybody else to do that as well.
Miski has a plan.
Miski for mayor.
Miski.
Well, you know, we do need a new mayor. We do need a new mayor.
Miski, we know you have been at it and working there on the ground for years and years, and your passion certainly comes through, and you have a plan. But co-executive director of Black Visions, Miski Noor, we know we're going to see you again down the road. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.